Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It is time for the NXT Event Center from events from the NXT Wrestling Show on the CW Network, plus matches from NXT Level Up. And now, here's the host of the show, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 1868. And I'm going to talk to you about the results for NXT Deadline 2024. But before we get into that, because I'm going to bust out my... before we get into that, let's talk about NXT Level Up that happened yesterday, because I decided to watch it. I figured I want to line it up since it's an NXT event, so I figured so I can have this coming NXT a standalone. Dion Lennox took on Jasper Troy. Now, these two young men, watch them in the future, because Dion Lennox has got great skills in the ring, a very smart individual, and size and strength. He's probably almost like the total package. Very good in that ring. Jasper Troy is a big man, 6'8". I think he could be a threat to any championship in the WWE if used correctly. And not only that, he can be an asset to any stable being formed. Who knows? The New Day could be looking. If they're looking for a man to replace Big E, that he could be the guy. Obafemi could be the guy, or Omos. Right? I know Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods turned against Big E. If they're going to look for a new member of the New Day that's going to make a New Day a little bit different, they should shout at some of the guys in NXT. Odyssey Jones would have been the guy, but because of what happened and he got fired, it wasn't supposed to be. So. But in the end, Lennox used his brains and that's made his strength, his brains, and a lot of brawn come out of Jasper Troy. But in the end, Dion Lennox won the matchup. Sarah Schreiber interviewed Layla Diggs, and Layla Diggs says she's kind of sick and tired of Lainey Reed having her way, and she says she'll make Lainey Reed pay. Lainey Reed was interviewed responding to the rematch, saying she can't let it go. I'm going to have to get it done. And Layla Diggs went to Lainey Reed. Lainey Reed tried to cheat a couple of times, but the referee's been catching her. But in the end, though, however, Lainey Reed ended up winning the match despite all that. So, the modern day Southern Belle, a very vicious young lady, and she may, I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up in the NXT main show. She may end up being the fourth member of Fatal Influence. If you think about it now, Fatal Influence can run things. You get Lainey Reed, and Jasmine Nix. They can team up. You can get JCJ to go after one of the singles titles. Fallon Henley's the women's North American champion. Why don't Fallon Henley why don't JCJ go after the NXT Women's Championship? So, if the Fatal Influence wants control, recruit another wrestler, Lainey Reed could be the perfect person for it. So we'll see what happens there. So let's go to the NXT Deadline results. Now, it's been reported that Eddie Thorpe was not medically cleared to compete in the Iron Survivor Challenge because of the heinous attack that happened. They don't know who did it still. So, lots of mysterious attacks. Who attacked the Street Profits this Friday night on SmackDown? Who attacked Jade Cargill a couple weeks ago? And now it's who attacked Eddie Thorpe? Like a whodunits. Lots of whodunits going on here. Kind of like that. As a Men's Iron Survivor Challenge, Yvonne Evans versus Wesley versus Nathan Frazier was another match. And Ethan Page versus somebody yet to be named. Yvonne Evans and Wesley, a great matchup in any regular NXT event, live event, or something like that. Was Iron Survivor Challenge. Went back and forth. And then 5 minutes later, here comes Nathan Frazier. Talk about a triple threat that could have gone either way. Call air traffic control on this one. all three men are flying around. And Ethan Page is coming out next. He tries his luck. And Javon Evans? Ethan Page made the first fall. Nathan Frazier made the first fall. Wesley and everybody else. Javon Evans is yet to make a fall. And here comes the replacement for Eddie Thorpe, Oba Femi. I had a feeling that he was going to get involved in this. Somehow he may be behind the attack. Oba Femi comes in, starts cleaning house, and shows his dominance. Why he shows everybody why he was the NXT North American Champion. So, and Javon Evans was penalized once after getting pinned, and Obafemi slammed Ethan Page against the penalty box and almost jammed. It was jammed shut, but Javon Evans jumped right over and into the fray again. And there was one part where Obafemi was pinned. He was in the penalty box. Ethan Page was pinned a few minutes after, and we were supposed to get in the penalty box. And it seems like he did not want to go in there against with Obafemi. And my friend Jordy Scow likened it to like a prison thing, you know. You don't want to go in there with a Bubba. So, anyways, they finally got him in there, and Obafemi proceeded to beat the crap out of him. And like even gave Ethan Page the Michael Cole treatment. You know, when Jerry King Lawler pulled his tie, Michael Cole's face was smushed up against the glass. That's what it looked like. In the end, though, Obafemi, with 3 victories, 3 pinfalls, ended up winning the match. And he'll face whoever the NXT champion may be at New Year's Evil. So, Lexis King addressing being in Minnesota, as you know. Lexis King says he has memories in Minnesota as well, and he's not gonna give up on his quest, and he'll continue on. The NXT women. No, who would I pick? I picked Paige to win that one, so I'm 0-1. Women's Underground matchup: Lola Vice and Jada Parker. These two went at it. Jada Parker was dominant throughout the matchup, but Lola Vice used her MMA smarts in the end, defeating Jada Parker. And I'm 1-1 in the situation. Now, the tag team titles were on the line. Nathan Frazier, who went through that Men's Iron Survivor Challenge, team with Axiom. Nathan Frazier got his nose busted open, his ribs taped up, and they're defending the titles against No Quarter Catch Crew, the team of Miles Bourne and Tavian Heights. And OTM ended up scouting at ringside at the entrance, and didn't get involved, which is very, very shocking. And what's also more shocking, Frazier and Axiom had these miscommunications, but they still hung in there, and they ended up winning the matchup, retaining the titles. I'm 1-2. I thought it was No Quarter Catch Crew's time to win the belts. So, Sarah Schreiber interviewed Javon Evans, and he's like, fist bumping the people out there from the NXT Underground, giving one guy a headlock and having fun. And then Wesley interrupts him. He starts jaw-jacking with him, and then Wesley punches him in the face, sucker punches him, and then Javon Evans, you want to go? You want a piece of this? So there's that. So NXT title line, Trick Williams versus Ridge Holland. This was a heck of a matchup too, but in the end, Trick Williams ended up winning and retaining the title. So that means Trick Williams will defend the NXT title against Obafemi at New Year's Evil. Meanwhile, Ethan Page addresses the Iron Survivor Challenge. Says, I don't know what to do. Can't do this. But Karrion Kross decided to point out a tweet from X. He says, pick up the phone. So I don't know if it's like Karrion Kross trying to challenge, trying to talk to Ethan Page, or or is it something else? We'll find out, because we know we had the transfer, the talent transfer, going on right now. So it's a possibility Ethan Page may end up being on one of the main roster too. I can see Ethan Page trying to go after the Intercontinental title on Raw. Braun Breaker has that title, so you never know what's going to happen. So, Sheriff Schreiber interviewed Ava, and she said it's been a great night so far. We got the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge coming up. And Tiffany Stratton, who is from Minnesota, came out and interrupted them. And said, you know what? I'm going to watch the matchup while New Year's Evil. Interesting, because it might be Tiffany time. I got the Money in the Bank briefcase. So you got to be aware of that. And she can cash in on whoever the NXT Women's Champ at the time. As you know, that's coming up next, the Iron Survivor Challenge. Julia and Ren Sinclair, our former guest on Rant and Rave, started off. So Ruka followed up, then Zarya, then Stephanie Vicaire. All 5 women went at it. And most of the women, all the women it got to the point where like there's only 2 minutes left. All the women had a pinfall. In the last few seconds, Julia picked up the second fall. But when Stephanie Vicaire tried to pick up the fall, time ran out. Julia with 2 wins over against everybody else's 1, wins the matchup, and will face Roxanne Perez once again for the championship in a rematch at New Year's Evil. That's all the time we have on this show, as you know. Next episode we'll talk about AEW Collision. So, until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, doing for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.